Hello everyone, I'm Tuco and welcome back to another episode of the Structure Showcase series. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And today we will be taking a look at the Hyrum Faction. Now, the Hyrum Faction, very big faction, a lot of structures to go through. So this will be a bit of a longer video, simply because there are so many different cool structures and intricate details. Like this Mead Hall, for instance. I mean, look at that. Look at this block. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. And then of course the overhangs, just marvelous. So anyway, the Hyrum are the horse riding faction to the south of the Misty Mountains and to the west of Gondor. So this is the first building or first structure we'll be taking a look at, and it is the Mead Hall, or the tavern, I guess you could call it. And I mean, just look at this. Why can't the dwarves have detail like that? I mean, come on, this is beautiful. So anyway, inside we'll find ourselves a glorious mead hall with drinks aplenty and cups and chairs and all kinds of delicacies. And of course, we can get quests from all these wonderful people. And then the windows, because there isn't much glass being used, you just have a nice little wooden bar right there, which is quite nice. So yeah, the mead hall, it's definitely a smaller tavern. A lot smaller than the Hobbit one. Just one floor, which is kind of nice. Everyone's in one place, drinking and singing and dancing, having a good time. So yeah, you find a lot of different drinks. I mean, look at all these. Oh, it's wonderful. And of course, mead and the mead hall. And then the chandeliers. I mean, that just looks awesome. I love the chandeliers in this game. The chandeliers, it's just a wonderful touch. Simply because with torches, you can't place them like up high like that. So chandeliers, they're wonderful with it. So anyway, on the outside here, we have a bunch of different flowers and flower pots and overhangs and all kinds of wonderful fence posts being used here for added detail, and decoration. And of course, I mean, that's just nice. That's a nice touch there. Just putting the stairs there, extra bit of pushing the wall back, more detail. I just really love it. Anyway, the next structure we have to look at is the watchtower, which you can find spawning pretty much anywhere in the biome, just by itself a lot of the time. But in it, down here, we have a nice chest filled with all kinds of goodies, and then of course a ladder leading all the way up to the top, where you'll find dwarven crafting bench, usually a few of these guys, not normally just one, but then again another chest in which you can find some good loot. And then of course there's meat here and some hay that you could take, which is quite nice. Unfortunately, the watchtower, for some reason, it does not have the Hyrum banner for some odd reason. I would think that they'd have it, but they don't, which is kind of odd. And then the next structure we're looking at is the barrow, or the Hyrum barrow. And if you go inside here, if you find your way into it, you'll find basically these are the tombs of the old kings for Hyrum, for the Rohan. And there's a chest down there, and if you if you hit it, you get one of the barrow whites to spawn. And inside the chest, if I can get in there, you can find some pretty good loot. I gotta admit, some pretty good loot indeed. And I love the small I love the pouches. They're a wonderful touch to the game. Really, really quite nice. So anyway, that's the barrow, the Hyrum barrow. Bury their kings. Anyway, the next structure that we have is the Hyrum fortress. Now, usually these come with the Hyrum fortress like village in a way. So there's another wall on the outside, and then you have this. But with the Hyrum fortress, definitely a simple design for the walls. If it was me, I'd put a lot more detail on it, but it doesn't look half bad. It honestly looks pretty good. Got the nice watchtowers there, and a good gate with, of course, the Hyrum banner, the horse lords. Looks amazing. And then, oh my goodness, their gate, it looks 10 times better than the dwarven ones. I've got to admit. I mean, just look at that. Look at the detail. And I love the red, like the faded red. Looks quite nice. Or the maroon, I don't know. Anyway, so in here you'll find a nice little, I guess you could call it, well, it is a fortress, but like a nice little, what would you call it? Not courtyard, drill area? I don't know. Anyway, so over here you'll find yourself a smithy, because of course you have to have them preparing all your horseshoes, because you're the horse lords, and armor and swords and whatnot. And anyway, over here to the very back to the right, you'll find the barracks with, of course, some nice items and some mead and all kinds of wonderful stuff like that. And over here you'll find like a little crafting area. Of course, the Rohirrim crafting bench, which can be found in here, and horses that you can steal and ride, which is quite nice. And then up here on the towers, you can come around. You know, nice place to shoot goblins and all kinds of enemies if you want to. You know, some nice palisades. It's pretty good. A very nice little fortress here that the Rohirrim have. It's quite nice. I do like the straw. Like the straw, kind of like carpet in a way, but it's definitely nice. It's definitely a nice texture and a nice addition to the fortress. Makes it look a little bit more detailed. Anyway, the next structure we have here is the Rohirrim House. Now it's wide open. There's no door. You just walk right in. And there's a nice little roaring fireplace here with some armor and weapons. And then you can also find some more weapons on the walls and whatnot. And of course, a nice double bed there, and of course another chest filled to the brim with loot. These places are very good for looting for sure. Anyway, you can find also with the windows, they're just wood here, not glass, which is again a really nice addition, because they wouldn't really have glass. They're not really smelting a lot of it. They're just they're using wood a lot. And also this thatch roof looks wonderful, and especially the spruce going up like that. I really like how detailed these structures are for the Rohirrim. Just all the little intricate detail with the fence posts and the little, I don't even know what that is, but it looks amazing. And of course this, it just looks wonderful. Although I think that goes all the way back. Might go all the way. No, it doesn't. Okay. So anyway, the next structure coming to is the Blacksmith, the Rohirrim Blacksmith. With again, the roof just looks amazing. That is one amazing looking roof. And anyway, you can find, of course, the Rohirrim Blacksmith there, and a whole thing of Rohirrim armor, as well as weapons and furnaces and crafting benches and an anvil, which is quite nice. But what is odd about this place, this smithy, is that there are no chests, which is quite odd. Most you'll find chests, but you'll never find an armor stand filled to the brim with a Rohirrim armor set. So that's quite nice. Anyway, the next structure to look at here is the village farm. Now these are only found in the Rohirrim villages and the Rohirrim fortresses. Yeah, they're quite nice. And of course the scarecrow, get rid of all those pesky birds eating seeds and whatnot, and scaring away rabbits. Well, actually I don't know about the rabbits, but yeah. You can also, I think you can hire the Rohirrim as farm hands. I'm pretty sure you can. Anyway, on to the next structure, which is the stables. Of course, they're the horse lords, so they would have stables. And these stables look amazing. I mean, the wonderful looking Rohirrim blocks here, the detail on it, the beautiful, beautiful pine, and I believe this is pine too. Yeah, pine wood beam. I mean, it just looks amazing. Of course, you can have obviously like different wood textures and whatnot that you could use. But if you come in here, you can take all these horses. They are all for sale. And of course, this guy who is the stable master, which is quite nice. And then out here, you can find like a little pasture in which there are more horses that you can take or tame, I suppose, and put saddles on them and ride away with them. Of course, a large amount of hay, which you can turn in, obviously, to wonderful, delicious bread very easily, very quickly. And again, it's a very nice structure, well detailed, well crafted, just amazing looking. And again, I wish the dwarves would have something that nice. Anyway, so the next structure to be seen is the barn, the Rohirrim barn, which amazing. I mean, look at that detail with the fence posts and the beams and all the little details like that, and then the roof. I mean, that is a beautiful curve. That is a beautiful curve right there. And anyway, you come in here to the barn, in which you have some iron there, and actually wood around the outside for the entrance. And you can find all kinds of animals here, which is very nice. And of course, a huge amount of resources and hay, and also those chests there. And of course, you can find yourself the Rohirrim farmer. And up top, you have even more hay that you can turn into good old bread. And then up here, there really isn't anything else. But I do like the openness of this, because you'd have beams over that, over like that for support and whatnot. So I really like that detail. Definitely do. How open it is up here. It's really nice. Anyway, the next structure that we have isn't a very useful structure for the player. However, is there anything down here? No, there's nothing down there. So this is the Rohirrim Well. You'll only find this in the villages and fortresses, because of course they'd have a well. But it is a nice looking structure. Very, it's got that nice little bit of detail that adds a bit more completion to any village or build. And then of course the garden, a nice little garden for the Rohirrim, a nice hedge. And then of course we have all the different stalls. So let me see here. This is the smith stall, farmer stall, woodcutting stall. I don't even know. What are you? Builder stall, brew stall, brewer, butcher. There's so many stalls, and you can trade with all these guys, and it's really nice. Fishing? Oh, fishmonger. Dang, they got everything. Baker. We got ourselves a gardener. Orchard. Yeah, so there are many different kinds of stalls that you can find here, and they can all be found again in the the villages and fortresses found with the Rohirrim structures. And then of course a nice little pasture, which again can be found in those areas. And then you have the beautiful looking, what was it called again? Signpost. Welcome to Sheepthorpe. Sheepthorpe. Man, that's a terrible name. But anyway, these things can be found spawned in the villages and in the fortresses, because that is the name when it was established, and a nice welcome sign, which is very nice. And then of course the Rohirrim gate entrance, which is very cool because redstone can connect with the gate. Unfortunately, it won't close it, but it can open it. And of course, the nice looking pine wood, or nice looking beams. I mean, these beams, they are so useful. They are a very useful block in this mod. I absolutely love them. I use them in all my builds. And yeah, this just looks amazing. Yeah, the stairs coming up. Come up here, fire down, raining arrows on your enemy. Of course, the detail with these walls and the fence posts just looks amazing. And now onto the largest builds for the Rohirrim. The largest one, or I'm not even sure if this is the largest one. I think the fortress is the largest one. But anyway, this is the Rohirrim village. Now, this thing is massive. Tons of hay. I mean, there's so many resources here. But anyway, you have a house, you have a barn, you have farms, you have a mead hall in the center. Kind of like the Vikings, in a way. Ooh. And of course, stalls, and a well, and another barn, and houses, and I'm not even sure what that is. I can't remember. And a house. And another house, and more houses. Yeah, so this place is pretty full. Tons of loot to be had, especially if you're an evil player. You can come in here and, wreck the NPCs. But even if you're a good player, you can set up shop here, build a wall around it. But usually, well, sometimes you'll find walls around the villages here. This one didn't spawn with one, which is kind of unfortunate. Although I can show you what the walls look like with the next structure, which is the fortress. However, they aren't beams that are used with these. These are often just the normal logs, not beams at all. And usually there isn't like wood up top here. But this is the fortress. It's a lot more plain than the village. Honestly, I'd rather set up shop in the village than one of these fortresses. But then again, the fortress has a lot of potential to become some players' like little fortress here, because there's so much open space here. You could get rid of these farms, you could place massive structures there, and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So in here you'll find 2 stables, a bunch of farms. I mean, golly, look at all those farms. And, of course, the fortress, which we've already looked at, and the watchtowers. So, yeah, this build definitely has a lot of potential. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. You could turn this all into farms if you wanted. You'd make these bigger. You can do all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of there's definitely a lot of potential with this build. Though one of the things I would do if I did get this build, I would try and connect these watchtowers up with the wall, maybe make the wall thicker or something like that, so you could actually walk on it. Because I like walls where I can walk on it, you know. I don't like walls that are just palisades, you know, because that's what these are right now. They're just palisades, which is fine. It protects against goblins and orcs and whatnot, but, you know, it's nice when you have a bit more defensive position. Well, so anyway, guys, that was the Rohirrim structures for the Lord of the Rings mod. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, well, I hope you did enjoy. You obviously made it to the very end of the video, so I'm sure you did enjoy it. But anyway, guys, God bless, and I'll see you next time.